Happy Tuesday. Welcome into another edition of the Right Side of Campus. It is Tuesday, November 26, 2019. I am your host, the big man on campus, getting you ready here for another day in sports as we come up on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in a couple of days here. Got a Black Friday slate of college football and Saturday. Got all sorts of stuff in the NFL, and then our continued look at college basketball. Got all sorts of stuff to do today. Donnie Rightside, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Another day, another dollar. We'll have some fun, see what's up. Got some good topics, and we'll get it rolling.
Yep, got some buy or sell we'll take a look at, kind of just update some of that stuff. I want to talk some college football. I got a team I wanted to get to yesterday that I'm curious to kind of see how they finish. We'll do a college basketball preview, Donnie, 2:30 Eastern, Michigan State and Georgia. We'll also talk Clippers, Mavs, big game in the NBA tonight. We'll break all that down for you in just a little bit.
And some miggity maction. How about that, Jeff?
Yeah, I forgot it was even on.
So did I.
I don't even look, to be honest. I've never had real great success with weekday games, so I don't even look half the time. But we'll get to all that and more. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. I know a lot of people, some people might even be off this week. Maybe this is always, Donnie, there are times in the year where you've got to imagine production's down across the country. There are days where you just kind of, like, is every Friday in like the workplace just like a waste? Like, does anyone actually do anything on Friday?
No, not Friday, but this is the type of year, especially in like sales, when you get closer to like Christmas and you get closer, obviously a couple of days out from like Thanksgiving, nobody does anything.
Yeah, I would feel like I feel like I remember back like when I worked in the banking business. I worked with cell phones as well. I feel like a lot of these times you didn't do anything, but I'm sure a lot of people are getting ready for the holiday. Donnie, how many people do you have your holiday?
I think this year about 20, maybe something like that.
20.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited this year because, as I've said a couple different times, my parents have a new house, so it's going to be nice to have it kind of somewhere else, So
yeah, that is good.
It'll be fun. But check in. Thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate that, Shane. Shane M with a donation, very kind.
Bing bing.
I don't know if we actually get that, but Donnie. But again, actually, I'm kidding. I think we do. But thank you, Shane. Very very kind. Jukes is in here. Guan, Matt, Gerald, Don Deasy. I'm sorry. Taylor H, Soldier, Donnie Rightside. Everybody's in here. Always like to see Donnie Rightside chumming it up with the chat box. All right, let's get into it here. Last night, Donnie, what did you end up doing? Anything?
Watched the football game. I enjoyed it. I was just appointment TV, man. When the Ravens come on, I thoroughly enjoy every single time they play. It just mesmerizes me that they're that effective, and it's fun.
Yeah, I watched for about, I don't know, half a quarter maybe, and then I kind of realized I'm actually physically sick watching Jared Goff, so I'm just gonna watch the Sixers and be more sick watching that. So it was a night last night, Donnie, of a lot of sickness around here, and again, I mean, for good reason with that. And let's get right into it. Joel Embiid, Donnie, who I really want to talk about this as a kind of a concerning thing with the Sixers going forward. I've been very adamant. I don't like Brett Brown. I think he should have been fired 2 years ago. I definitely think he should have been fired last year, and I think he should be fired still. I think, Donnie, again, though, with Joel Embiid last night, he doesn't score a point, not one. Didn't make a free throw, didn't make a layup, didn't make anything. And what's so concerning about this is a two-pronged thing. First of all, it's pretty evident, Donnie, that Brett Brown can't handle the people in this team. He doesn't make them better. He coddles them as athletes. He'll go and just say, well, Joel just had a bad game tonight. Donnie, this isn't the first. They don't beat Toronto ever. And from a long-term perspective, you look at Boston, Milwaukee, Toronto, any team in the East that could be really good this year. Every one of them is going to be locked down defensively. And I see with this Sixers team, I just, again, still don't see anyone. It was very reminiscent, Donnie, last night of Game 6 up there. You just could not score a basket in the last 2 minutes of the game. And this is an alarming issue that not only this team has, but the other team across the street has, where they have these chronic problems that they don't seem to ever fix. I've made it clear, and I've been pretty on it this far. Brett Brown is not the coach to lead the Sixers. And I know he wasn't out there playing last night. The problem is, though, this will just be swept under the rug. It's the same with Ben Simmons, who is basically accepting of the fact, like his comments last night after the game about why he took that three were laughable. He doesn't even talk about it. He doesn't, as a point guard who's the leader of this team, say, you know what? I should have noticed that. He acts like a spoiled fucking baby. That's what he acts like. And this team is becoming more and more just disappointing. 15th in the league, Donnie, in offense right now.
It's if you can equate it to a team that when you grow up and you play, they're more talented than you, but they do whatever they want. And you know, when it comes down to crunch time, they're going to fold up. It's been evident for a long time, Jeff. Like Brett Brown, and we had many shows together where I would say, Jeff, there's a reason why Brett Brown was hired during the process of tanking, because he wasn't good enough to actually make the players, hey, I'm going to steal.
Bridge guy.
Exactly. He's a really nice guy. He's not that good of a coach, and he's not going to upset the balance of when I want to win 10 games, Brett's not going to be good enough to make the difference to make us 15 wins, 16 wins, or 17 wins. We're going to be in the basement. So when everything starts to turn around, that's when you go out and hire the tactician that says, you got me the players, now I'm ready to go. And how long is this going to continue for that he's going to be a nice guy? Because you're wasting prime years of some of these guys because he's a nice guy, right?
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. I could not agree more. Like I said, Donnie, if you could actually explain to me why Brett Brown retained his job last year, I want to hear it.
Nice guy. Because he's
a really nice guy, but that's about it. Right?
I mean, it's because he was nice and Colangelo fell out and they couldn't string something together. So Brett Brown's going to hold this whole thing together, and hopefully Joel's not so upset he wants to demand a trade. And come on, man.
Listen, the first year when they lost to Boston, okay, at that point, Donnie, you should have recognized, okay, we have something here. We weren't necessarily good enough to win this year, but next year we're going to be ready to go. Okay, we're going to go out and make some moves. We're going to take what we need to grab, and we're going to make a run at it last year. Okay, you decided to keep Brett around here.
Yep.
And you expected something different.
Yep.
You went out and got Tobias Harris. You went out and got Jimmy Butler. You traded away pieces that you already had, that you told us were good enough before, that weren't good enough. You failed to get the big-time free agents. You didn't get Kawhi. You didn't get LeBron. Those weren't happening. But then last year, Donnie, you go out and fail again in the same place. He should have been fired last year. He should have been fired the year before. You should have went out, Donnie, again, as I've said time and time again, back to fucking bring Strupp up to Jay Wright and say, come be our guy now. This is your time. You're getting into that older period of coaching. Jay's not a young guy anymore. I guess he still is by coaching strength, but it was time for him. And you gave another wasted season, Donnie. They are not going to win.
Correct.
With Brett Brown. It's just not going to happen.
They're going to be good enough to beat a lot of these sloppy, bad teams that are all over the East. They're going to end up with a top 3 or top 4 seed. But when the crunch time comes, when Jeff, it's no longer let's have fun tonight and run and gun and we're more athletic. When it turns into a half-court game, your point guard will not shoot. Your center will disappear. He'll probably miss a game or two with some baffling knee injury, and then you'll be out-coached in the last couple minutes of every game. There you go.
And look, let me tell you something. Josh Richardson, he's a nice player, okay? Nice player. But he's not a guy that can lead your team to victory every night. Tobias Harris the same way. Donnie, not only did you get rid of Butler, but you backed the truck up to those two. They're not max guys. They're not.
I think you, in the grand scheme of things, like I think this is the team that you were eventually going to settle on. Now, if you're asking me right now, like the team as constructed, can it win a championship? Probably not. Because, and it's an all big derivative. If Ben Simmons, who we saw like Instagram and IG, if he started working on his 3-point shot, I see Giannis, Jeff, bowling the ball up court and pulling up from 3 and nailing it. I can't only imagine if Ben Simmons can add that to his game, which you're the head coach. You're supposed to know this kid. You still can't get through to him. You got to go. You have to absolutely. Your job is to get Ben Simmons to play like an actual point guard and alleviate the pressure on everybody. He can't do it.
Last night was everything of what Brett Brown is.
Yeah.
Nobody has gotten better with him here.
Close game at the end. You have the lead, and then you lose.
Sure. Let me ask you another question, Donnie, okay? Did you watch the game?
Bits and pieces of it as it was coming down the stretch. Yes.
There was about 4 minutes to go. And I know this is a minute detail, but this is what Brett Brown is.
Yeah.
4 minutes to go, there was a technical foul call, Donnie. Who do you think Brett Brown chose to shoot the fucking free throw?
Now, I saw your tweet, so I'm going to cheat on it. It was Joel Embiid, and I had absolutely no idea, Jeff, that he actually didn't even score yet. Yeah.
He didn't score a point. And I don't care if he had 40 points, Donnie. He shouldn't be shooting the fucking free throw.
No, and you know what the worst part about that was? Do you know why he let him shoot? Because he didn't want him to end up with 0 points. And that's a horrible coaching decision because you're worried about somebody's feelings instead of knocking down a key point in the game. Right?
He is so poor. He is so poor. I'll tell you, Donnie, you know a guy that I mean, he ended up going to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. I would have loved to see a guy like Beeline come in here. A guy that can get these kids.
A tactician. Yeah. Yes.
Beeline.
Coming out of 4 seconds to go in the NBA, you got the ball in that midcourt scenario. You know Beeline's going to crack out that binder that's like this. Like, watch this dime I pull out for a wide open shot. Don't have it here.
Yeah, and as usual, we're going to have another wasted season here. It was simple. You could predict this. But again, this team has a lot of delusional fans, these new trust the process people that they don't, Joel will be fine. Joel keeps having the same problems, Donnie. So does Ben Simmons. They all have the same issues every fucking year, and you don't do anything to change it.
No, and you don't change the coach. I mean, it's the only question is, Jeff, how many years are you going to waste doing this? We said, boy, we really had a shot, 2 years ago. You're playing a Celtics team that had half of your talent, and you had a coach that absolutely coached circles around Brett Brown. Then you saw it last year again where your big man was winded, but you couldn't get your point guard, would just disappear in the last 5 minutes of games, didn't want to drive to the rack, didn't want to get fouled because they didn't want to shoot free throws. Come on, man. Enough.
Listen, I always love these two teams, the Eagles and the Sixers.
Sure, and we'll root for them.
Right now, I've not ever been more nauseated as a fan. I mean that. 100% mean that. Yeah. I'm really irritated with these two teams right now. Really irritated. I've had it with just you know what I'm sick of, Donnie, to be real with you? I'm just sick of watching other teams make the right decisions and they never make the right ones.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm sick of.
Yep.
And a lot of it has to do with the Sixers. I'm tired of this, go out and cut this guy loose. Let me ask you last question on this.
Yeah.
How long do you let this go for? You've got to make.
That's what no. Save that because it's funny. You read my mind. This is a buy or sell question, Jeff. So.
Okay. We'll save that. Donnie, I wanted to bring this story up because it's quick and we can talk about it quickly. Yep. What I do tomorrow want to talk about, though, and I know you do as well, some of these changes that the NBA are looking at. And we're going to get into that a little bit more tomorrow. Tomorrow's show will be, we'll kind of take a look ahead at the Thanksgiving holiday, talk a little bit about that and some other things going on. But, Donnie, Bill Cosby is in the news again. Have you heard about this story?
I did not, so please tell me.
Bill Cosby, who has not given any interviews since his incarceration, he did a phone call yesterday with blackpressusa.com. It's the National Newspaper Publishers Association. He broke his silence, Donnie, as he continues his sentence at a maximum security Philadelphia penitentiary, which I was surprised to hear, Donnie, that generally people like Bill Cosby, older, you would not send them to a maximum security. But that's interesting. The state of Pennsylvania actually has a special facility for senior citizens.
Sound like they're just grandstanding this guy, right? Like like dog and pony show. Look, we don't take kindly to this stuff. Yeah,
it's kind
like
of
he's going to run away or something.
Yeah. Now, Donnie, these are quotes directly from Bill Cosby. I have 8 years and 9 months left. When I come up for parole, they're not going to hear me say I have remorse. I was there. I don't care what group of people come along and talk about this when they weren't there. They don't know. He said also the trials are a sham, unjust, and not fair, and that it's all a setup, Donnie. The whole jury, they were imposters.
Oh.
Look at the woman who blew the whistle, he said, alluding to the juror who had overheard a seated juror proclaim before the trial that he's guilty. We can all go home now. Then she went in and came out smiling. It's something attorneys will tell you is called a payoff. Donnie, keep in mind, 60 women came to the light that Bill Cosby raped and sexually assaulted them while they were high on drugs.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, let's just say, and I want to make this clear, Barstool wrote a real good article on this. Real good. This guy, Jerry Thornton, wrote a good article on this. And he made a comment about, Donnie, let's just say 50 of them were lying.
Yeah.
Let's just say 59 are lying. The fact that you did it to one of them makes you a grade A sexual predator.
Correct.
It's pretty simple.
You can when you have money and you got power, and if you really did, because again, psychos never do anything once. I think we can agree. Most people didn't say, I just, shot heroin once and it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? They always come back for more. So if you can get it, if it's just one girl, you have good attorneys, you could probably beat that case. But when 50 or 60 have the same story and can nail down times, you go, come on, man, you're sick.
Keep in mind, Bill Cosby is 82 years old.
Yes.
The likelihood of him getting out of prison is very low. Yeah. He's going to still have to do, even if he comes up for parole in 4 or so years.
He ain't making it out of prison.
Yeah, he's 82 years old.
You see the way he gets around now? Like, he can't even walk without, like, holding, like, some guy's hand or arm. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, he's definitely brittle. And again, generally people's health deteriorates considerably in prison.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I'm going to guess that Bill is not going to make it too damn far. But I mean, how delusional is he, Donnie? I mean,
amazingly delusional. Yeah. So, like saying he's got maybe it's this neck of the woods, Jeff. Him and Sandusky have a lot of the same tendencies here, it seems like.
No, they definitely seem to. I mean, and that's a good point by you about just the delusion that you have as a criminal. I mean, generally these serial predators have these. Well, I didn't, it was only once, or hey,
this isn't even true, Jerry. There's 70 kids you did this to. Every one of them lying. I love them all.
Yeah. They're scapegoating me. I'm the only. They just want to. They just don't like me. What an idiot.
Yeah.
All right. Last story, Donnie. I really just wanted to quickly discuss this Ravens and Rams last night. Listen, we've been saying it for weeks on this show. The Ravens are the best team in the league. I mean, I don't know how long we got to keep saying it, Donnie. I mean, this team is must watch. And it's funny, Clay Travis, who many people listen to, Clay Travis actually made it a point to say that, Donnie, when Lamar came into the league, that Joe Flacco is a better fit for them.
Yeah, I didn't think Lamar would make it as a quarterback, and I think a lot of that guy, like that's how I love the Ravens.
That was a pretty bad
entire organization. Well, I mean, most people. It's like a lottery ticket. I don't think too many people thought he would actually make it or be this good this quickly, at least in the NFL. But
you were one of those people that says like Booger McFarland that he should have played receiver.
I don't know about receiver, but I actually didn't think he would be a very good quarterback at all in the NFL, the way he was caught up. But that shows you how good that Ravens coaching staff and infrastructure is. Like, Jeff, the dude isn't throwing 37 times a game. He threw 15 times last night, and 5 of those were touchdowns, all short, crisp passes. It's Roman, the coordinator. I love it. I'm rooting for this. I love it. I'm enjoying it. And I can't wait for 1 o'clock, not for the Eagles game, Jeff, but for the 49ers and the Ravens. I love it, man. I'm excited.
One of the great, Donnie, disappointments in my life as an Eagles fan was the fact that they allowed Jim Harbaugh to walk to Baltimore and sign there. And we had to deal with fucking Andy Reid and now this dope.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't think anybody could have seen Harbaugh being this good of a head coach.
It's like seeing, Donnie, a girl that you treated badly, and she says, you know what? I'm moving on to something better. And she ends up like going out with like Drake and becomes like some amazing woman. And you're just like, damn, I could have had her and I let her go. Look at Harbaugh now.
It's a perfect. If you can get a perfect organization, that has to be it. The Ravens.
They're terrific. They're unbelievably good. Donnie, I mean, the Rams, though. I mean, I called McVay Chip McVay last night. He kind of comes across very Chip Kelly-ish. Yeah. It seems like his offense worked like once that 1 year, and then the Patriots shut it down, and ever since then, Goff is stealing money. I mean, he should be arrested for larceny, and that's the fact that he was able to get such a sweetheart deal is
all quarterbacks get those, but I think he is overpaid. But also you have to remember the last 3 weeks, which he struggled, he went against elite level defenses. He'll get a deep breath. But remember how we killed Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, and he said, "Holy cow, Miami's on the horizon." Jared Goff will bounce back this week, and they'll let up the scoreboard against Arizona, but they were pathetic. And again, this coming, like I had the first play I put out, Jeff, it was the over 46.5. And thank God the Ravens played in this football game, because there was even a time late in the third quarter, Jeff, I wasn't even sure I was getting the 46.5, even though the Ravens were already, approaching 40 points. And then I'm saying, like, all right, so I took another team total, over 21 with the Rams. And I'm saying in my breakdown, This game was going exactly perfect. I'm like, Baltimore's going to score. We know that. Whether or not they can get in, because I had the game like 27, honestly, like 27-24. And I'm saying, like, as long as the Rams can get down, they should be able to get some junk points. They were horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Seems like it quit pretty early.
They absolutely, Jeff, here, 9 minutes to go. You're down 4 touchdowns, 4th and 2 on your own 36. They punted the football, and I said, oh, my God, I'm actually going to have to sweat this over now.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I mean, you look at this point, though, with Goff, Donnie.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got more interceptions than touchdowns.
Didn't throw a touchdown in November. How about that for an NFL quarterback? Is that possible?
And since the October 13th, Donnie, he has 4 touchdown passes.
Awful, just awful. Now, again, he did play 3 elite defenses, but that's no excuse for getting bombed on and barely moving the football. That's no excuse.
Keep in mind his QBR is 30th in the NFL.
Stinks. I mean, where's the awareness at? Like, they got into the red zone twice, and Booger McFarland saying it's really good to go backwards with penalties, and of course they get sacked the next play. They're a mess. They have so many weapons. And I saw somebody going back and forth with you last night. Give Carson Wentz, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Gerald Everett at tight end. And what's he look like? Goodness.
I mean, give him one of those guys.
Exactly. And by the way, Jeff, Todd Gurley, one of my favorite players to watch the past couple of years, like before they started getting that bulky knee, electric. You couldn't stop him on the ground. He was how many times do you see it? Like 15 carries, 110 yards, 7 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He is a shell of himself. I don't even know if he can play anymore, to be honest with you. He's just an average, plodding running back.
Guy. Man. Yeah, very inconsistent guy, Donnie.
No way.
But yeah, do you feel like when you watch Jared Goff, do you get sick watching it? I do. Like,
yes.
He makes me want to kill myself watching him.
There are certain players in football, like you watched last night, and again, Lamar Jackson, it's not an aerial show. They had the perfect offense, but when he drops back to pass and ready to throw, you know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, I wonder if this is going to be like 15, 20 yards. Somebody's wide open down the middle. Nice play. Jared Goff gets back there and pats the football, and I'm going to myself as, throw the ball. Are you going to get sacked? Are you going to throw it out of bounds? Like, you know what I mean? Like when a quarterback drops back and you have a wager on the game or not, you're like, this guy's going to just throw a dot right here. Like he's got plenty of time. You have no confidence when Jared Goff drops back to pass. None.
Jukes PSG, Ravens -2 is so easy. It's not funny. That's funny, Jukes. I don't remember you mentioning that yesterday. Now all of a sudden it was so easy. It's always easy after the game. Listen, I like the Rams. I was surprised.
I did. I thought this was a good spot for him. I did. Yeah.
Donnie, a nice comment here from where is it here? Simone. Where is it? I got to bring this up, Donnie, because of sad. Donnie, you've got to retweet the link I sent out, please.
I did retweet our link.
No, not that link. Terrible earthquake, Donnie, last night.
Oh, Albania.
It's sad, terrible earthquake. There's hundreds of people that are lost.
Scary.
Terrible.
Earthquake's scary, man.
Yeah, it really is. And Donnie, a lot of people don't realize, you look at certain areas of the world, they're very underdeveloped.
Yes, correct. I'm pretty sure, Jeff, most of their buildings weren't updated to code for earthquake capabilities, right?
No, and over there you have people building stuff they're not even allowed to.
Exactly.
And, you got incredibly old buildings, infrastructure that's not
concrete buildings, you know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, you could hypothetically, Donnie, hit it with a car and it could fall down. Like that. Yes. That's the kind of infrastructure they have. You've got people buried in rubble. It's very sad. If any little bit helps to UNICEF and those places to help people that are in some kind of tough spot.
Yep.
All right. Listen, settle down, guys. All I'm saying is everything's always easy after the fact. But again, if here's what I'll tell you: keep betting those spots long term and see how it goes for you. Books got crushed last night in that game, Donnie, and I was part of that because I sided with the books in this game. But hey, it happens.
No, absolutely it happens. But again, what you get out of this is what you can root for down the stretch. I mean, how much fun? Like, again, just this game coming up. Who's stepping front? Like, Jeff, Baltimore is freight training good defenses like nobody's business. And on the opposite side, in blowouts, like, you usually take a breather on defense. Jeff, they were bringing the house in the fourth quarter, making a joke of this Rams offense. And it's fun to watch when it's on this side. And the only thing I can hope for is anybody, please beat New England one more time. So the Ravens got to go back down to Baltimore like they did early in the season and get run up the flagpole, because I got to tell you, Jeff, If I have to watch the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl again, I don't know if I can do it. Give me a fresh start in the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, I really like Baltimore a lot, man. They're fun to watch. By the way, have you ever been part of an earthquake?
Actually, New Jersey. We had one a couple years ago in New Jersy, but it wasn't a.
You don't get them too often.
One. No,
I know we don't get them too often here either. No. Knock on wood. Hopefully, we don't get it.
No, it's like I would a bit. You really don't want to, but you know what? I always had a fascination with, Jeff. Before I die, I think I got to go to like Tornado Alley down in Oklahoma. I need to see a tornado. I do. I need to see.
Settle down, Donnie.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you don't want to do. By the way, I don't know if I've ever told you this. In the southern part of this county, we have a fault line.
Yeah,
like where earthquakes can
sure.
happen.
Yeah.
All right, big man. How do you pronounce Sheepdare, and what does that mean? A Sheepdare is just an Albanian person. Like Donnie would not be a Sheepdare. Anybody that's an Albanian person, they have any Albanian in their blood, they're Sheepdare.
Like American.
Or a Cubano, or Boricua. It's kind of like Boricua. A Boricua is a Puerto Rican. Sheepdar is.
What song used to do this, Jeff? Boricuas, morenas.
Dominicano, Colombiana. Yeah, that was a reggaeton song. Reggaeton was big, man. That was great. That was a great era of music. Good Don Omar, little Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee, yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Lo que paso, este tuyo.
Yeah, Jeff, you got to go storm chase. If you worked for another company, you could probably get them to sign off on storm chasing, right?
That was the name they had for the storm court. That was actually a great idea, by the way. Yeah. I was part of the Bay Bridge earthquake. That sounds horrible.
Jeez.
Settle down, Jukes, BS. Jukes, you're making some weird comments today, bro. Let's take it easy, pal.
He doesn't even look at it. He wants him to get paid and then just leave the sport. That ain't right. Come on, Jukes.
No, look at his latest comment.
I want Lamar to get paid once.
No, the next
Todd
one.
Gurley. I didn't see the next one. Where is it?
It'll come in just a second. You see it?
No, all I see is Paco's last comment, Gasolina.
Oh, you didn't get his?
No.
Okay. Well, if you do, I'm sure you'll laugh. Settle down, BSG. All right. All right, Donnie, college football.
What is it, a blocked word on here? Where you see, because I'm not looking on the other thing.
No,
let me check.
I don't have any block words. The only block words I have are ones that won't be said on here.
Yeah, see that? It's not. It doesn't come up on that one.
He's basically making a comment about.
No, I can read it on our on the StreamYard, but I can't read it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Huh.
All right, Donnie. College football. A couple comments here on college football. Oregon loses. Were you at all surprised by Oregon losing to Arizona State? Seemed like a tough spot, didn't it?
I was absolutely loving the fact that they actually got beat. It does seem like a tough spot in that. They played well. Look, Herm's boys played well in that game.
Yeah, they're a tough team. I mean, shout out to you if you didn't think Herm Edwards would be a good coach. You were dead wrong.
What do they got now? They're bowl eligible now, right?
I believe they are. Yes.
Yeah, that's about
Donnie,
what they want.
I do like this Utah team though. They're a team that's interesting to me. I'm interested to see how they kind of finish the season out. They'd be a fascinating team to have in the College World Playoff. They're really good defense, got a good offense. Whittingham, always a great bowl coach. That's an interesting thought to have with Utah. Donnie, Bob Davie, he's getting fired here.
What's his buyout, like $3?
Also, Tony Sanchez as well at UNLV.
Yeah, how about that? Jeez, man.
He sold this whole, I'm going to bring in all these great recruits.
I have a great high school coach in Nevada. I'm the only guy that can build this program. Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Yeah, Tony seems like just a high school coach, unfortunately. By the way, Donnie, at New Mexico, Bob Davie, 35-63.
Yeah, what do you expect from those two? Like, if New Mexico and New Mexico State folded up football teams, nobody would be upset except us gamblers, I guess.
Keep in mind, other schools that have fired their coach, Rutgers, Florida State, Arkansas, UNLV. So there you go. He'll have one more game, Bob Davie. How do you feel that game? I got to feel like they're going to not play for him at all.
Well, hold on, Jeff. Some people will tell you, like, look, it's Bob Davie's last game. These kids are going to absolutely run through a brick wall in this one. Somebody will give you that one coming up.
Yeah, right. Listen, the emotional thing is really something that you have to – it's a game-to-game thing. Like Donnie yesterday with the basketball tournaments.
Yeah.
George is in the Maui Invitational, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I heard a quote. Listen to this quote from Tom Crean. If you heard this quote, what would you have done in this game?
No, go ahead. Read it to me.
Crean basically admitted and said that I know this team is not physical enough for this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
He made that comment before the game.
Oh. So I'm betting against them immediately.
Of course. Now, if you know anything about Dayton, they have a guy named Obi Toppin, Donnie.
Yeah, sure I do. Yep.
He's as good a big as anybody in the country.
Yeah.
You look at the issues that they have in the front court. They don't have anyone that can guard Toppin. Now they have one guy, Rayful Hammond, who is a good player, but if he gets a foul job, you have nobody. The game went perfect. You've got to look at those quotes. You've got to understand. Just because, I'll tell you another thing, Donnie. Experience in these tournaments is everything. If you get a team that is really experienced, like a Brigham Young, against a team that's not experienced, like a UCLA, that's everything, man. You got to look at that kind of stuff. But yeah, emotion is really an every game thing. You've got to kind of evaluate it every single time.
Yeah, no, the one game which should tell you if you lived in the Philadelphia area, I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory here. It's the last game a team will ever play in Veterans Stadium. Teams never lost in cold weather, beat this team 5 straight games. The crowd is outrageous. There's no way they win. And the Bucks win easy over the Philadelphia Eagles. Emotion that.
It's all about a feel, really. Because there are some events, Donnie, that I will never bet against. For instance, Leicester City, when that guy died, the chairman of the team, the next game, there's no fucking way I'm betting against them. None. Because he had a regular – he was close to those players. Now, if Stan Kroenke died for Arsenal, I wouldn't bet him. Like, it's very –
Now, hold it, but let's just say it's how about the Glazers for Man U?
I think the Glazers would move. They're such a huge club that I think
they hate them. They literally have boycotts of out Glazer.
Well, the fans do. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The players, then again, though, I don't know if they necessarily hate them, but it's really, as I said, a team to team thing. But all right, what else do we have here, Donnie? Let's go into some of these games today. Let's do buy or sell first.
Yes, all right, buy or sell. Good.
We got to be off here in about 20 minutes, so we have plenty of time.
All right, buy or sell. It's going to deal with our favorite pastime, Jeff, Thursday afternoon, which is Thanksgiving. Get the family over. I love how it sets up because the Detroit game, nobody's really over yet. Then people start filling in around halftime. Then everybody roots for against the Cowboys at 4:30, and then you have the random night game at night, which most people probably don't even watch because they're stuffed or just tired or eating something. My question to you, Jeff, my preference about Thursday night football games, and it's hard to win on the road, especially on Thursday, and the Dallas Cowboys get that luck every year. 2 or more home teams win on Thanksgiving Day, buy or sell. Now, one is only favored.
All right. I got to do my due diligence to see who's even playing right now. I haven't looked yet. Give me the games, Donnie, will you? You
got Chicago and Detroit in the early game. Trubisky, they're favored by 3 points. Chicago Bears. Buffalo, Dallas, which is the 4:30 game. Dallas favored by about touchdown 6.5. And then also looking at Bet Online here, New Orleans and Atlanta currently showing the 48.
How many teams win at home?
I'm saying 2 or more home teams win.
Yeah, I'm going to push. I'm going to say it's a push. I think the Lions win, and I think the Cowboys win. I do not think Atlanta wins.
Well, how does it push?
Because you said, I think 2 teams.
No,
win.
2 or more home teams.
Oh, 2 or more. Yeah, yes. I think 2 or more for sure win.
I was trying to do the math on a push on that. I was like, man, Jeff's.
I thought you said more than 2. I said no. I think it'll be 2.
Yeah.
I'll go 2 people, 2 teams. I don't.
2 Atlanta, home teams winning. So who you got winning? Who? So you have Detroit and Dallas. Interesting.
Atlanta ain't fucking beating Seattle.
All right. Now, we just talked about this a few moments ago. It's funny because I don't give Jeff these questions. And out of nowhere, Utah is going to be one of these questions, Jeff. Now, your question of buy or sell, does a 1-loss Utah team, meaning they win this week, I believe they're playing this week, and then they win the Pac-12 championship game.
Yeah, they play Colorado this week.
They win that game. Yeah, they're going to win that game. So they're going to be 1 loss if they beat Oregon in the Pac-12. Do they get in over a 1-loss Alabama team?
No. And that's what sucks about it. It sucks that Oregon lost because that would have been awesome to have those 2 teams. Because if Oregon was undefeated and Utah beat them.
Well, Oregon always had the 1 loss from Alabama. From
that's
Auburn,
right.
Though.
At Auburn, right. Yeah, I just don't think that. Unfortunately, Whittingham, great coach, great team. I would love to see them, some new blood pumped in, but I don't see that. No, I wish.
I actually, to be honest, I love, and we like big events, and the top 4 should be a big event. I just always think that that 4th seeded team sometimes gets in and just gets bounced out. I got to tell you, like the teams that are supposed to be in now, with let's just say, the Ohio States, LSU's, Georgia, or the SEC crew, Clemson involved in that as well. I think we have a really good setup for a top 4, and I don't want Oklahoma in. I don't want a Big 12 team in. I don't want a Pac-12 team. I would be fine with the teams we're looking at in those top 5s.
I will say about Utah, they're one team I would like to see in over another team, just because I do think they're different from that normal Pac-12 team. If you remember a couple years ago, Donnie, Washington made it in with Jake Browning as their quarterback.
They got iced.
They did. Defensively, they were really good, but they got beat up. I really believe that Huntley-Moss tandem, I think they could cause some waves. I think they're just a better version of like an Oklahoma. They have a better much better defense. I think they could play with some of those teams. But I will say, Donnie, if you're out there looking and you want to just maybe take a $50 bill and take a shot, Utah could be interesting. If they can somehow get in, 30-1 is a good price right now to get on Utah. Maybe one of these teams loses and they find their way in. 30-1 is a good price on Utah.
Yeah, and they always have, it's like you could play in like the Northwest. You're always going to have these teams play. I don't know where's the BCS championship game actually at this year? Do you know?
New Orleans, I believe.
Yeah, so you're always down in SEC country. Like, why isn't this thing up in, Seattle or something like that? But we all know why.
Yeah, it's in New Orleans.
All right, number 3, Jeff. Rutgers made a mistake by passing on Greg Schiano by herself.
I'm gonna buy that they should have passed on Greg Schiano.
Why?
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think they need to realize what they are. Like, I just think they're not even a middling team. They're not a good football team, Donnie. I know people want to try to sell that they're part of the Big Ten, so they got to be. You build the team, Donnie, through recruiting and bringing the right kids in and building a program from the ground up. I just think Gregson is too big for them. Let me tell you one thing, Donnie. Mm-hmm. You know who I would hire if I were them?
Who?
Guy they have right now. Nunzio Campanile. He doesn't stink. He's a really good coach. He's a young guy. And he's really good chops in that state with recruiting. That's where you got to start. I don't know if he's the guy long-term for 20 years down the road, but I think he can take them in the right direction. I think he can bring in the right people. You've got to realize the guys he has now are not his people. I think he could really be a hit down there. And again, it's very early. He's just getting into coaching, but he's done some really good things at some of those premier programs. And I know it's very Tony Sanchez-esque, to be honest. I just think with him, they're not even UNLV's level. They're a really low level of, we don't have any sort of talent here. He comes from a good line of coaches, his family rolling coaching. I see something in the guy. I like the guy personally.
Yeah, but he's never going to have a chance. And here's the reason why. Forget about Greg Schiano, who was at Rutgers already, had some success at Rutgers when nobody has success. That's a notch in his cap. But the reason I actually wanted him, Jeff, because if the contract would have went the way it was supposed to, Schiano's, I don't want to say he's going to coach the next 15 years at Rutgers, but he would have forced them to build a new practice facility, have a top 5 facility in the country, which is what he wanted, private jets to recruit, because the younger because they're actually not looking at Campanelli, who's there now, Jeff. They're looking at his brother, who's an assistant coach at Ohio State. Those guys can't ask for stuff, and they're happy to get the job. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I make $300,000 at Ohio State. I'm about to make $2 million at Rutgers. Yeah, I think I can do it. But the guy that would force it, because you would be in a better place if you hire Greg Schiano for 5 years, get all that underway, and come back to respectability, not winning Big Tens. I'm talking about just not getting beat 40-0. Then you make the move to like a Campanelli guy that can extend it, because Greg Schiano is the only one that says, we're not getting off the ground unless you fully commit to actually wanting to win football games. And they didn't want to do that. And now they go the assistant coach route. Nobody's going to win that way, Jeff. Nobody.
Yeah, look, I think with what they're just a bad football team. I don't really know where you go from here with them. I don't think they're big enough to bring in a guy like,
No, and they wouldn't want to do that. It's good because Schiano, they were going to pay him $4 or $5 million a year, which is crazy money. And he didn't even want it because he knows, like, dude, I can steal a paycheck, but if you're not going to give me what I need to actually recruit against some of these teams, it doesn't make sense how much you pay the head coach. And he was right. So just for that motion, that if they would have hired him, he would have forced them to be actually all in on football. And now it appears they don't, and they're just back in. You're not going to get a big name guy in here that doesn't actually. So, dude, I'm not going to New Jersey to recruit, man. So
Ryan Dow, the Utes offense stinks. They can't throw the ball effectively. Yeah, right. Third in the country in completion percentage and sixth in passing yards per attempt, but they can't throw the ball effectively. Where do you people get these stats? I got to ask. Is it just I'm a Colorado fan and I hate Utah, so I'm going to tell big men that their offense stinks?
I don't think anybody's a Colorado fan, are they?
Or whatever. Maybe you're a fan of Washington, or I mean, it's just bad.
Number 4, Jeff. Ready for this one? We're going to go a little bit of NFL action in this one. Buy or sell Sunday's football game. Look, Duck Hodges is now going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for everybody getting all excited about,
it's Devlin, dude, or whatever his name is.
What's his name? Duck, right?
The hell's Duck? What is that? Delvin Hodges, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his nickname, Duck Hodges. Yeah,
I don't fucking say nicknames. Devlin Hodges, for Christ's sakes.
Duck Hodges is going to be the quarterback, man. Jeff. Everybody's excited because he threw one ball over the middle, which Cincinnati didn't play, and it turned into an 80-yard touchdown. The dude throws like 100 yards a game, and people are all fired up. But that's not my question, even though I wanted to get that out there. Buy or sell, does anybody get ejected in this football game between Cleveland and Pittsburgh on Sunday?
I'm going to say no. I think, like I said when it first happened, I think everything was kind of passed on, and the right people got suspended. And
so nobody gets that extra lick on Mayfield when they were already warned not to do so. That'd be fine. I hope it happens.
I think it's kind of dropped there. You don't want to hurt your team anymore going forward. You already can't really. You're already struggling to win football games. I don't think you can hurt your team like that. Both these teams really have no wiggle room. If both these teams, Donnie, were 3-7, maybe. But
maybe. Now, how about this one, Jeff? I got a little bit of offbeat comment in this one. Last week, Miami comes to Cleveland. Cleveland busts them up. Jimmy Haslam's wife, Jeff, wearing number 95 hat in full support of Myles Garrett.
I mean, you got to support your player, I guess. I mean,
I hate that organization. I really do, from like top to bottom, but it is what it is. And number 5, Jeff, the one that we were just talking about earlier. Brett Brown, coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, obviously this year just signed a new deal. I don't think he's getting fired this season. But my question to you, buy or sell, does Brett Brown coach game 1 in the 2020-21 season?
Game 1 of next season? No, I don't think there's I personally think by Christmas he'll be fired.
Do you think I
don't think you can continue to allow it. I mean, you have a lot of goals, I think, as a team, and I think you've got to be willing to cut the cord. I want to say I called in the WIP, Donnie, back when they retained him, and I was talking with
they got mad at you.
No, I was talking with the host about it, and he made the comment to me that he thought that if by game 25 they didn't have they weren't looking real good, they would cut ties.
And by the way, Jeff, in the NBA, right? Like, you know how there's load management and all this crap. I keep hearing like the Brett Brown and the Brett Brown backers, and they say stuff like this. Well, this team hasn't really played all that much together. How many years have these guys been here? And how many games? Do you need 150 games with Tobias Harris to fit him in? It's basketball. Like 5 games, you're ready to go. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it's just not. It's just not true. I mean, it's just terrible to even consider. I mean, I guess, Donnie, the good thing about this team is if you were to fire Brett Brown, Jim O'Brien can step right in and be your you
don't lose anything. Like Brett Brown he's a nice guy. And again, that's why Sam Hinkie, the genius of all geniuses that wanted to tank, had any pick of coaches he wanted in the world, Jeff. You know who he went after? I think Brett Brown would make a perfect guy to tank here.
I'll tell you another thing. I've said this for years, Donnie. You know who I would bring in if he can't get right or something like that?
Who?
David Blatt.
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other David, so I could have yelled at him.
I actually like Fizdale. I think he's gotten a raw deal in New York. It's hard to win there. He had actually a really good first season at Memphis, and he got cut for some reason. But no, I like Blatt a lot. I think he would be perfect for the Sixers. Very good with the international type of player. They've got a lot of those. Young coach. He got a raw deal in Cleveland. He's a terrific coach. Got fired because LeBron didn't like him.
It's true. He did.
It's pretty simple. He's one of the best coaches in the world. If you actually look him up, he's won a lot of games.
You reach out to Rick Pitino, Jeff.
That's not going to happen. Rick's out.
Yeah. All right, that's your buy or sell, Jeff. 5 questions.
Great work. Those are good questions, actually.
There you go, man.
All right, Donnie, let's do a couple games today. We'll start out. Before we do that, I want to tell you all about BetOnline. Go check out BetOnline, Donnie. BetOnline.ag. Got some Black Friday promotions, and you can actually make some money yourself if you go and sign up for BetOnline. You can refer people. There's so many great things BetOnline has. I've talked before about their early lines they're going to put out. They're going to get lines out really before anybody.
Good prop bets, crazy prop bets too.
Yep. You get paid within 24 hours. Got some Bitcoin options for withdrawals and deposits. Really got a great race book if you're looking about horses, all sorts of sports, anything from soccer to hockey to, some of the smaller leagues and even, as Donnie said, some prop bets, things like that. Who will be fired first, things like that. I don't really like a whole lot of offshore books, but BetOnline's the one I do like. Go check them out. I have a link in the description box. Just go support them. If you're looking to maybe get a new book or add one to your arsenal, BetOnline is really the best in the business. So go check out BetOnline now and let them know that Big Man and Donnie sent you.
Damn right. Tell Dave, Donnie, and Jeff sent you. Absolutely.
Yeah. By the way, Dave, great guy, Dave Mason, their guy over there.
Jeff, you could probably reach out to him and say, look, we got to get a prop bet up if what's the odds Brett Brown makes it till next year. I bet you he puts it up for you too. He would do it.
No, you definitely can.
Yep.
I'm sure
He'll do it on a lot. Yeah.
Donnie, let me ask you this. Here's a good one. Buy or sell, Bill Cosby makes his 85th birthday.
How old is he?
82.
Sell it.
You think he'll die before
Yeah, he's not making it. Nope.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Nope.
All right, 2 games tonight. What do we got, Donnie?
Let's go. 6:51, 6:52. I wouldn't say tonight, Jeff. We're getting ramped up and ready. 2:30 p.m. Georgia, Michigan State. How about this? If we take a look at the some of the betting percentages, about three out of every 4 bets, Jeff, coming in on Michigan State. If we take a look at BetOnline right now, minus 13.5, minus 115 with a total of 149.5. There's no team I'd rather see lose more than Michigan State, Jeff. Can they get upset twice in a row as double-digit favorites?
I don't think they'll get upset, but I think I wouldn't have a lot of interest in Michigan State. I think they'll win. They should be able to cover here. Because let me tell you something about Georgia. As Tom Crean said, they're not physical enough for this tournament. They're very Olay. Anthony Edwards is a great player, but at this kind of basketball level, against teams like this, it's just a tough step up. But I also look at Michigan State. I heard some comments last night by Izzo that weren't particularly ones that I would want to get behind as a better. I think it's pretty clear whether you agree with Tom or don't. They didn't look real interested yesterday in that game, which was odd. They didn't play, I felt, to the level. They looked kind of lackadaisical. Looks like the travel caught up with them a little bit. I do think it's got to be tough on Winston at this point. I mean, you played a lot of games. You've had a tragedy in your own personal life, and you've kind of just had to play and deal with it. He looked pretty not disinterested, but he just kind of didn't look himself yesterday. They didn't look themselves as a team. I thought Virginia Tech was terrific. That was a great coaching job by Mike Young. They should be able to get the job done here. And you have to ask yourself, Donnie, is this a game where they just say, you know what, we're pissed off and we're going to beat up a team that can't defend a fucking lick? But I think Georgia can offer something. But I wouldn't lay 13 here. I wouldn't be too running to the window to do that.
Now, I got a question for you in this game because obviously with Winston going through the tragedy that he has, you saw yesterday Tom Izzo makes a couple comments like, boy, he has nothing left in the tank. Is this one of those games on back-to-back games, Jeff, where they say, you know what, just take this day off, relax? And like he doesn't play?
I think he definitely – I think he'll play, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets pulled out pretty early.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a game where you should be able to take care of business. Defensively – Georgia is really poor. I mean, and you know what? The thing about Tom Crean, Donnie, which is amazing to me, he continues to get jobs. Like, he's a terrible coach. Like, Donnie, do you know what he did? Did you hear what he did?
No,
He doesn't identify players as positions.
What does he do?
So, like, when he sends in his lineup cards,
there's no like guard.
No, it's all B.
Starting at point guard.
Everybody's B. Yeah. You know what B stands for?
Oh no,
basketball player.
Oh, come on, man.
Like he
So
doesn't
he's one
have
of
like
those guys.
he's a fucking idiot. He is the quintessential all bark no bite coach.
Yeah.
Like everything about Tom Crean is whack. He just runs around on the sidelines acting tough.
Where
I
did he
saw
make
him.
his bones? Like Marquette? Where was his I know obviously I know
Indiana.
Indiana, but before that, where was he? Was it Marquette?
It was a smaller school. I forget, to be honest. But yeah, I remember last year, Donnie, when they came to Philadelphia to play Temple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a fucking weirdo, man. Like he just acts totally fucking stupid on the sidelines, and it doesn't seem like. And another thing, Donnie, his star Anthony Edwards, he ain't gonna be there past this year.
No, number one, top 5 pick, right?
They are a poor man's version of what LSU was when Ben Simmons was there.
Correct. Nobody's invested.
No, not at all.
There you go.
Not at all. They are a dead duck team. I'd bet against them all year if you can.
By the way, real quick, we got some time for the NBA game or no?
Oh, yeah, let's do it quickly.
5:23, 5:24. The Clippers and the Mavericks, Jeff. We're not talking Luka Brazzi here. We're talking Luka Doncic. Now, look, bet online, Jeff, trying to screw -2. The Clippers coming to town as a favorite. Over-under, mighty over-under, Jeff. 226.5 in this game for the Clippers and the Mavs.
Yeah, Luka's taken the world by storm.
He is fun.
He's let me ask you, Donnie, when it's all said and done, could he be the best player on the court tonight?
What do you mean all said and done, though?
Like at the end of his career? Yeah.
Numbers-wise, yes, right? You would say
I mean, Kawhi's, unbelievable.
Yes, but numbers are what we go by, right?
Yeah, Luka is – you know what Luka, Donnie, will be, though?
What?
He will always be a player that wins a lot of – he'll remind me a lot of Allen Iverson, I think.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, like, he won't ever win a title.
Yeah.
He'll just be a fucking amazing player his whole career, you know? Let me ask you, if you were to look back on it, do you think that the Atlanta made the wrong decision here?
Yeah, it's funny
Trae
because
Young's
when the
player.
Trae went down, I liked Trae Young coming out of college, but you thought because it was one of those, you weren't sure if Trae Young was actually going to be a star, or how long longevity, because he's not that big of a guy. When you knew Doncic would have probably the lengthier career and maybe a little bit more upside in the NBA. I think they both won the trade, but if you have to redo it right now, I think you would have to give it to Doncic, right?
Yeah, as far as this game, though, I would look towards grabbing the Mavs here. They have one of the best half-court offenses not in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Clippers' defense has gotten particularly good lately. That's going to be tough. But
sure,
I think the bench I think the bench for Dallas can keep them in the game as well. I think we all just assume that Lou Williams and that bench is just better than everybody else. Mavs actually have a pretty good bench. The line's coming down a little bit, which is concerning. You know, the public loves the Clippers.
Yep.
In this kind of spot, I always look to back the home dog, these short home dogs.
Yep.
I think the game will come down to the wire. Clippers can't win every single game they play. And I was actually surprised to see, Donnie, the Clippers have, I think, 5 losses. It seems like they never lose. I don't know where they're.
Maybe Kawhi doesn't, I guess, plays every third game. So
speaking of Doncic, did you hear what Vlade Divac said about Doncic?
I did not know. Does he like? He's got to like him, right?
Well, he loves him. He said though. Do you know why he didn't take? You know why he didn't take Doncic?
Why?
Him and Doncic's father hate each other. It like goes back to the old country.
So they were part of the split. So I guess Vlade. Where was Vlade from in the Czech Republic?
Serbia.
All right, now where would his Doncic's dad be from?
Doncic's from Slovenia.
All right, there you go. Yeah,
but his father's Croatian.
Sometimes those things go deep out there, Jeff.
They do. Donnie, in that area, Serbs are like, they're not, you don't like them, put it that way.
Yeah.
Especially people that are like born there and shit.
Yep.
So it goes deeper than Vlade just doesn't like Lucas's dad.
No, know? Do you remember it goes back? Do you remember the documentary with
Lunch Brothers? Sure.
With the
Drazen and Vlade.
Yes, yep. Loved each other, and all of a sudden things got a little bit crazy in the country, and you had to pick sides. And it doesn't matter if you're a friend or not, doesn't?
No, it goes deeper into like, there are these deep seated hatreds of certain areas. Whether it's Albania and Serbia, or Serbia and Croatia, or Puerto Rico and Mexico, or there's places that just they don't like each other.
That's crazy you said that, because obviously where I went to school, there's a heavy Puerto Rican concentration. One of the worst things you can say to a Puerto Rican is confuse them with is you can call them. Oh my God, I never knew that till I went up there, man.
Yeah,
really, it's that bad?
No, it's. Wow. I know where I live now, Donnie, in Lancaster. It's one of the small. As far as per capita, we have Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
Everywhere around here.
Yeah, sure.
And they get actually offended if you were able to ever say that, By the way, Donnie, Luka Doncic, I'm reading, has a Pomeranian named
Oh,
Hugo.
Pomeranian.
By the
I'm
way,
not a big fan of Pomeranian.
I actually love. They're so cute. I think
You do? You like them? Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda, or my girl, she loves Pomeranians.
Yep.
She loves them. By the way, Doncic's mother, beautiful woman. You ever
Of
see her?
course. No, but I can assume.
Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. I got to go get a haircut. You all enjoy your day. Donnie, you'll enjoy yours as well.
Yep.
We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll get in some Thanksgiving stuff. We'll talk some of the NBA new ideas as far as rule changes.
Then we'll talk, Jeff, if you're a loser for going on a Wednesday night before Thanksgiving and getting hammered out there, Jeff.
Oh, yeah. I actually got to tell you about that. I also, Donnie, want to talk to everyone about one thing the NBA must fix.
No, we're doing tomorrow's NBA show is going to be heavy on these brand new things that they want to institute, and I think I like it.
Yeah. Well, I even have one of my own.
Yep, good. No, we'll talk about the NBAs, then me and Jeff will come up with like the top 3 points of what we would like to see changed.
Sure.
Yes.
All right. You all have a great day. Thank you for watching. See you later.
Peace.